Welcome to the Business of Politics Meet the Candidates series. I'm your host, Robin Moorhead, and I'd like to introduce you to my guest, Ray Fonseca, a Democratic candidate for the St. Thomas-St. John District. Welcome, Mr. Fonseca.
Thanks for having me. I'd like to say a special appreciation and gratitude to FAB USPI. Your goals of transparency and accountability, I share those same values. I'd like to briefly just give you an introduction. I'm a born Virgin Islander. I consider myself a Sabanero. I was born in St. Thomas. My parents emigrated from Tortola, so my mother was born in Tortola, my grandfather was born in Tortola, my father was born in Tortola. I went to Pauline Pearson Gardens daycare. I did my elementary school at Lockhart Elementary. I attended Adelita Cancrine for junior high school. I'm a graduate of the Ivana Eudora Ken High School. I briefly left the Virgin Islands to attend Florida State University, where I got a degree in administration, accounting, and hotel. I immediately returned and I started work at the Virgin Islands Housing Authority. I started out as the assistant accounting supervisor. I had an 18-year career at the Housing Authority, and I rose during that time from starting out as assistant accountant supervisor all the way to become the executive director. So I have many years of experience working in the Virgin Islands at the executive level. So I'd like to, briefly go into more detail of my platform. I humbly come before you today with a new blueprint that includes a deep belief in our dignity, our VI pride, and our self-worth. I come before you believing in the dignities to achieve excellence with love, justice, and accountability. I will stand up for those down on the knees, the disabled, the elderly, the veterans, and those that are in chronic pain. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used to create them. So on August the 6th, I'm asking you to select a better future. Vote Fonseca number 10 on your ballot. Thank you very much.
Mr. Fonseca, thank you so much for that rich history, that rich Virgin Islands history. That was amazing, and it really gives us some context and framework in terms of why you're running. If you could change one Virgin Islands law, what would it be?
Wow, that's a good question. One Virgin Islands law. What I would like to change would be very difficult, but it would be in the lines of allowing us to be able to own more without certain restrictions. So I would give a brief example with the banking. Redlining in specific. Redlining was a practice that denied blacks and minority equal opportunity to open businesses and own their own homes. So I think the Virgin Islands, even though it was outlawed in the 1968 Housing Act, I think redlining still exists in the Virgin Islands. So I would like to implement a law whereas when locals apply for a loan, the loans are tracked based on race. In other words, for example, say 10 people apply for a loan, a green person, a blue person, a purple person. If the blue person has a larger rejection rate, I would like the banks to tell me that, okay, the blue people had a larger rejection rate, and here is the plan so that in the next 6 months, those blue persons can qualify. So I think if it's one thing that I want to tackle, it's banking legislation. It creates more opportunities for home ownership and local businesses.
And you touched on local businesses. Now, understanding that small businesses are an important part of our community, what's the greatest issue that's facing our small businesses today, and what legislation would you sponsor or support in the 35th legislature to assist our economic well-being?
Okay, well, I would submit legislation to petition the US Congress to outlaw certain practices with the internet lenders. For example, such as Quicken Loans, e-loans, lendingtree.com. You know, right now, those programs are great, but they do not apply equally to the Virgin Islands. For example, right now, if you have Virgin Islands collateral, say you have a business or you have land, those collateral are not accepted for loans off island. In other words, once you're a Virgin Islander, it's federal territory, we're part of the United States, we should have an opportunity, equal opportunity, to be able to qualify for all finances. So I would petition the Federal Reserve to mandate that US banks accept VI property as collateral for a loan. And then I also want to create a VI government central bank and offer a government credit card. It will increase revenues for the government, and it will also lend towards my platform with more increased home ownership opportunities, and we'll discuss that more briefly.
You speak with such passion on all of these issues that we're discussing today. It's wonderful. And so in that vein, what is the biggest difference that you can tell us between you and your opponent? So when folks go to the voting booth, and let's say they had one more candidate to choose, why should they choose you?
Yeah, well, you know, I can't speak for the other candidates, but I come with a deep passion, a deep belief that, you know, the Virgin Islands, right, has a unique opportunity as far as compared to all the federal states, in that we have a program when we were established where all federal taxes that are earned in the Virgin Islands come back to us. That's why, for example, when the government of the Virgin Islands used the rum cover over bonds to solve the GERS, remember, in the last few candidates, elections, I was your candidate, and I am the candidate that was pushing the solution for the GERS, where we utilize the rum cover over bonds to solve the issues of the GERS, in addition to restructure our bonds to reduce the interest. So those are items that I'm very passionate about, and it also lends to more increased local home ownership, which I'm sure we'll discuss more in a brief moment.
Which is great for the economy. So if you had to sum up your top issue on your platform, your number one issue that you really wanted to tell folks at home about, the voters, concerned citizens, what would that be?
Well, you know, there's several. And let me start with improving the quality of our health care. Starting at the university level, right? We must attain full accreditation for the University of the Virgin Islands Medical School. We must invest in state-of-the-art medical equipment. We must have a top functioning MRI machine in our hospital. We must be able to offer you a CAT scan. We must need to offer all of our patients a CT scans. Our hospital must have the best overall diagnostic equipment. My blueprint also advocates preventative treatment options. For example, right now, it is better if we can get an early diagnosis, say breast cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer. It costs the community much less to be able to diagnose a patient when they're at stage 1 than when it gets to stage 4, when in many cases, unfortunately, it's terminal. So I want to offer more diagnostic screening for high blood pressure, hypertension, you know, prostate, breast, colon cancer. We will save money overall in the community by improved treatment options in healthcare. Education is another one, but I'm sure we'll discuss it further.
Thank you so much. This was really, really great time spent with you today. Thank you for joining us on the Business of Politics Meet the Candidate series. We hope that you'll come back and see us again as we get further along the election line. But thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take care.
And thank you. And once again, I am Ray Fonseca, My platform details a brand new blueprint for the Virgin Islands. Please vote for experience, transparency, and accountability. Thank you. Number 10 on the ballot.
To see more interviews from our Business of Politics Meet the Candidate series, subscribe to this channel and follow us on Facebook. See you next time. And remember, early voting starts on July 18th. Get out and vote.